Grumpy old man.
Hello! Welcome back, or maybe for the first time. We are Grumpy Old Men from the Netherlands. This is Peter, I am Mark, and we're talking about Allan Holdsworth. And yesterday I was realizing what a wide variety of music we already have talked about.
Yeah.
And it even gets crazier at the end of his career.
Oh.
So stay tuned.
Oh, I thought. Oh, you mean in Holdsworth?
In Holdsworth.
Ah, okay. Because I thought next week we're going to talk about Slayer. Or Napalm Death.
No,
something like that.
I think we have to stuck a few months to Holdsworth. But we're getting there through his broad collection. So, yesterday we ended the episode with John St. James Transatlantic from 1984. And we are continuing now. We are now in the year 1985.
Sorry, but John St. James, we didn't mention it last time. No.
Oh.
And another collaboration of Allan with this guy. Later on, he produces another album. I must say, I had this album.
So then we are now in 1984, people.
We're going back.
We're going back in time.
John St. James.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I can't really remember this album, but supposedly, excuse me, Holdsworth played on it. I know the second one he's gonna play it on with John St. James. That's 2 years ahead, and I know more from that album than this one.
What a great start from this episode.
We don't know anything about this album. Right.
Neither.
Let's go on with something we do know.
Oh, that's a great album.
Well, yeah, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Holdsworth.
Oh, right, Holdsworth.
Holdsworth.
Metal Fatigue.
Metal Fatigue, people. What a great album.
Yeah, right. Now we're in the period where he gets his own band sort of together. After Road Games, one of the last albums we mentioned in the episode before this, he had some material left, and he used that on this album. So if you have the vinyl copy, the first side, Metal Fatigue, Home, Devil Take the Hindmost, Panic Stations, are songs which were also recorded during the period of Road Games. And that's also with Chet Wackerman on drums. And on side 2 on this album, there are only 2 songs, The Unmerry-Go-Round, which is written for his father, and there is Gary Husband on drums. He was brought back for a moment, but the problem with Gary Husband was he couldn't work with Jeff Berlin somehow, and that's why he moved back to England, and Chet Wackerman stepped in, and then Jimmy Johnson came, and that was no problem, apparently. What I also find nice on this album is the fact that there is a song with Mac Hine on drums, which is of course nothing but a drum machine, and Paul Corda on vocals. And I read a story about that the guy was called, and within a couple of hours they had that song down. Oh. And again, just like we talked about the last time, it's incredible how a vocalist can work with that kind of material. I think it's incredible. But so, this for me personally is this is the best album he ever did, because there are songs, there are great solos. Devil Take the Hindmost, Home, all incredible good songs. And compact, and there are songs, not vehicles for his solos.
And also some compact solos.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I started realizing with this album, it's not only about playing fast.
No.
You know, we in the old days, we loved it when some guitar player played fast and we bumped each other and fast, 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 and suddenly it was more about the melody. You get bored with only playing fast, and that is what I realized with this album. Of course, the song Metal Fatigue, it starts with these great funky chords. And it's also beautiful how Chet Walkerman changes rhythm in the solo to lift up the speed. I think that's great, and a great solo on that song. And then you, of course, have the song Panic Station, great vocals. But the star for me, although it's also a great solo from Holdsworth, the star for me is Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, the bass solo in that track, yeah.
I mean, of course, we were used to Jeff Burling, crazy guy playing, great bass player. And then I heard Jimmy Johnson and I was first thinking, oh, well, maybe this is a more functional bass player. We saw him a couple of times live. It is this sweet, smiling, hippie looking guy. I always think he's on mushrooms or something, but he's steady, relaxed, kind person, what I think at least. In that time, I had a little caravan in the forest near the dunes. And in like 7 months a year, I stayed in that caravan. I had a little mini stereo set with my headphones. I listened to this album, and suddenly I was blown away by that bass solo in the outro of Panic Station. It's so beautiful, such great melodies. It's almost like a small Bach thing or something. No, I loved it. And then I realized, okay, he's also a great bass player. And of course, the song Home with a rare acoustic solo on it. So, yeah.
And this is also the time he got a little bit bigger, more well known. He did a tour in Japan promoting this album, and there is a Saint God a video from, but there's also a little controversy about it. Here, ik heb het hier. And this stuff is released after he passed away, unfortunately. But this live in Japan thing, but it first was released on a laser disc only in Japan, and somehow now I'm forgetting his name again. The vocalist Paul Williams did have some rights or something, or got money from that, and Holdsworth didn't, and that was the breakup between those two. But this is a great. Try to find it. It's also on YouTube, of course. Live in Japan, it's incredible. And by the way, he already starts his equipment. On the first IOU album, it was an amp and a few pedals, and during this period he already had a rack size of a refrigerator with all kinds of stuff in it. But he has that famous which John van der Veer said, overwaaien de kerkklokken, passing by church bells in the sky, something these big, enormous sounds when he plays those beautiful chords, and then switches to a really direct solo sound, which is totally different. And then, funny how that went on. First he had those racks, and in the end he didn't, because he had something else. Well, yeah, that's what I have about Metal Fatigue.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
So we go to
Reach Burrell. Yeah, right. He plays on this album Victims of Emotion, and to be honest, I haven't got a clue. I think I do heard it once, but I can't remember anything about it. So, if you people know it, please comment.
Yeah, for me the same.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay, then we move on to a Tefagron.
Yeah.
Right, a Tefagron. This one can go aside. A Tefagron. And he is dressed like Spock from Star Trek because Holdsworth was a huge Star Trek fan, and a Tefagron is also something which is mentioned in Star Trek episodes.
Oh.
The same as no, not on this album. There's something elsewhere. There's also a device which is mentioned in Star Trek. Here there is something going on because he wanted to expand more on his sound and started playing, which you can see here in the front, with a Synth-X. Synth-X is a MIDI controller. It looks like a guitar, and you can play synthesizer with it. And the best part of it, it's really direct. So if you hit a note, it's there, and all the other guitar synthesizers in that day had a latency. So if you struck a chord or you played a note, it was a millisecond or something later it came out of the synthesizer. But with this Synth-X, that was much quicker. So he could really play with it, and he also started doing it in different tunings, not the normal guitar tuning, but tuning it in fifths. And great. The only problem I got is the fact that he has a terrible synthesizer sound. I really hated that synthesizer sound. It somehow I see a resemblance with Joe Zawinul, who also had this great mundharmonica type sound coming out all of his synthesizers. No matter what synthesizers he always had that sound. And that is exactly the same with Holdsworth. I think that those Oberheim sounds don't... I understand he tried to imitate a sax because he likes to play a saxophone. But no. I really... well, hate is a great word, but I don't like it.
No, me neither, and I didn't get it also because he has this beautiful sound, finally, and of course I can understand that you are a bit fed up with always the same sound and you want to change, but why exchange that beautiful sound for a cheap mouth organ? I mean, buy a mouth organ and play on it. I don't understand it. And it's also with like a guitar player like Pat Metheny. He also suddenly changed sound, but he had a more bitey sound and it blended more with Lyle May's his keyboard, so that was nice. But from Holdsworth, from there on, I just lost it, and I think the whole album for me sounded a bit more digitally. Yeah. Also the keyboards.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I must say, from there on, I lost. I was losing Holdsworth a bit. What's nice is that Tony Williams is playing on a song, Looking Glass, and that's it for me with that album.
Yeah. There's also a video right after this one. That's the Frankfurt. You can also find that on YouTube. Frankfurt 1986. Nice to see, because there he has problems with his Synth-X. And just in case you didn't know, the guy was never satisfied. So every time he did a show, he stepped off stage. People said, "Oh, great show." He said, "Oh, I sucked," and that's standard for Holdsworth. He didn't like anything he did. So great. So and then having problems also. So you see him nodding his head and working his way through the songs. But and I also read, by the way, that Gary Husband, who's playing drums at that show, didn't have his drumsticks, because the equipment didn't arrive, so he had to borrow other guys' drumsticks.
Like this.
And he says that's why they were all over the place. Well, we saw him with his own sticks.
We're going to talk about that later. Jesus.
Yeah, and that's by the way around that time we also saw him in Paradiso.
Yeah.
So maybe you want to talk about that a bit.
About that live show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remind. Was that double concert?
No.
I always forget.
No.
There was also
no. This was only Holdsworth.
Only Holdsworth. And the first time we
saw him. Yeah.
We saw him.
Yeah, we were really anxious to see it, etc.
Yeah, but I had such a different thinking of how we would look playing. So I was, this guy, and does all these things, you know, like a blues player. Every time a blues player does this with his head, but there was standing this guy, and like another day at office or something. No, really?
Yeah, well, he closed his eyes. He closed his eyes.
He smiled sometimes, and and of course I remember we had to duck every time because the sticks from Carrie Husbands were flying around. But Jesus, what a drummer to see live! Wow.
Yeah. And I got an autograph from Holdsworth before the show. I hang around Paradiso. I hope to see him, and I was there with a female friend, and we were waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. Suddenly, I saw him walking on the sidewalk with a couple other guys walking from Paradiso to the hotel, I think. And then I froze, and she said, "Go, go!" Then I ran after him, and he gave me an autograph. Yeah, great.
On your breast? Here, Alan. Here, please. I'm a big fan.
Here, on my ass. Yeah. Bit of room there. Okay.
Okay. Very funny. So that was
yeah, right. And then we also come in a period, I think, where Holdsworth did a lot of one-offs with other people playing one song, two songs, a couple of songs. So we're going to Soma. Did you have that album?
No.
Great. Soma, yeah, he plays a lot on that album, and it's yeah, I don't know. It's not pop, and it's not jazzy. It's not.
I listened to one song, the Grand Panjan drum, and for me that song was a bit level 42 like or something, but it.
Yeah, okay. Well, he really endorsed that band. I think he plays on almost the whole album, and unfortunately, there's only one Soma album, and there is a second. There's supposed to be a second one, and there are a couple of songs on the internet. I think on YouTube, of course, where you can hear him also play with Soma, and that's yeah.
Now on that song I listened, it's a nice solo.
Yeah,
nice solo.
yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay.
Right. Next,
yes.
John St. James, Fast Impressions. You don't have that one, right?
No, but I listened to a song. But
yeah, right. Well, there's indeed one song, just like I feel that way. On Individual Choice, there's that nostalgia, which is so beautiful, laid back, and a great solo. The same goes for John St. James. Fast Impression is the album, and there's a song called Rainy Taxi, and that's such a beautiful, relaxed song with a great solo. And you should really check it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I listened to that song, but I have a bit of a different opinion. Here, always.
I'm off.
No. Rainy Taxi. I mean, okay, here you have the chance to work with Allan Holdsworth, this great guitar player. And then that song is all about two chords.
Oh, right.
It goes on and on. So you say, hi Alan, I have 2 chords for you. 2 chords? Yeah, 2 chords. And then I think a non-swinging rhythm, programmed rhythm, and that goes on. And even then, he plays a great solo on it. I mean, but for me, it's not as inspired as on Nostalgia, because that's, yeah, of course, all the changing chords. He can do more melodies, and for me, it's get a bit stuck. But I understand what you mean, but I don't. I only listen to that song, so maybe there are other songs that are also great on that.
Well, he does play on maybe 1 or 2 more songs. I can't really recall.
Okay.
Maybe I should have listened the whole catalog, but there were too many CDs.
So now we have a change.
Yes. And I really haven't got a clue why he played on that one, but it's Crocus, and that's a Swiss ACDC type of band, and the album is called Change of Address, and he plays one solo on one of those tracks, and I don't know why.
No.
And I don't think it really fits. So I think it's a money question. I think because let's face it, the Syntax, he had to take an extra mortgage on his house to buy that thing. That was not a $2,000 thing. No, it was in the hundreds of thousands. So maybe that was his motivation to do that. I don't know.
No.
But okay.
Yeah, I don't have a clue. I mean, I know Crocus from their first record on, and then they were not into the AC/DC thing. That happens even more later. What is that called? Metal Rendezvous.
Yeah.
And okay, so I thought, Crocus. I listened to it. First, I didn't even recognize Crocus the first half minute.
No,
it's also strange.
Yeah. They're going to through a Americanized period or something. I don't know.
So I think what you said, maybe it's to keep the heater burning. I was feeling a bit empty when I was listening to that song. All my energy went away, and I thought, Jesus, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Move on.
Move on. We are still in 1986, and 86.
86.
86. And we move on to Allan Holdsworth, Sand.
Yeah. What can I say? I was there again. There is Syntax on the album, which still I don't mind using the Syntax, but the horrible sound, people, come on. And there are a couple of songs where he doesn't play Syntax. Oh no, that's not true. He plays Syntax on every song, but there are a couple of guitar solos on here. But what is I think a nice song that goes it's about his daughter, one of his daughters, McMahon. But it is not an album which I expected. I hoped for more guitar stuff, and that didn't happen.
No, yeah.
Too bad.
I mean, I don't want to offend anybody, but for me it was more just of the same or something.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, so I didn't listen to it much. I can't tell anything good about it. So.
Okay. Well, let's see, where are we now? 87.
Stanley Clarke.
Shall we? Yeah, we can do another 3.
Oh.
Well, we'll talk about it then. I mean, Stanley Clarke, If This Bass Could Only Talk. That album, because he did a tour with Stanley Clarke. He was support to Stanley Clarke. I saw twice on that tour. where also the keyboard guy from Stanley Clarke filled in for keyboards with Holdsworth, because there were some things he couldn't get right, so they had a tape machine and that went wrong, and then the guy from Steve Hunt said, well, maybe I should play those chords. So he does some keyboard playing, and then at that point he came in the band from Holdsworth. That Stanley Clarke album, there's only one song where he does a great solo, and it's a nice album, by the way. Stanley Clarke, it's a nice album.
Was that when we saw Stanley Clarke live?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not with an extra bass player, I think.
Oh, that was after that.
Yeah, I think that was
again.
after that. Yeah.
Yeah, because that was a show, and I think Lenny White was playing the drums.
Yeah, no. This was something different. But
no, also with Stuart Copeland we saw.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We
That's
saw
later. Yeah.
We saw many times.
No, but
later,
I certainly know with Lenny White. I think that drummer.
Okay.
And later that extra bass player. I mean, the attention was on Stanley Clarke. Suddenly, this guy on that 5-string bass. And he did play the bass really well. Okay, but that's another concert. So I don't have it. I can't say anything about it.
That's right. Okay, let's take another two, because you don't have those.
Yeah.
Stuart Ham, Radio Free album, was the first album from Stu Ham, who played with Joe Satriani, which is of course an incredible bass player. He has a lot of guest musicians on his album, under which Allan Holdsworth. Also, I can't say anything about his solos because it's always good. I don't hear really a bad solo. So nice album, great song. And then Strange Advance, that's also a really rather strange thing. It's a Canadian new wave type of band, and there they asked him to do 1 or 2 solos, which he did. And the solos are great, the songs are mwah. So that's about it, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, shall we end the episode?
Yep, we end the episode. Thanks for watching, and we see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It was wonderful. Bravo!
I loved that.
Yeah, it was great.
It was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good.
It could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
We're doomed.
We're dead already.